Yay.
Woohoo!
Welcome, everybody. Jenny and Leela and I are happy to introduce our guest here, Jordan. Welcome, Jordan.
Hello, thank you.
Beautiful.
I wrote down some Jordan quotes
Oh, nice.
to see if he can expound upon them. Um, you said life does not require knowledge, and I wanted to ask, what do you know?
That's a good question. Very little, very little. Of course, it's good to make a distinction between functional knowledge and absolute knowledge. Like functionally, yeah, I know how to pick up this cup and put it to my lips and drink this coffee. But in terms of knowing what exactly this cup is or what I am or what all of this is, I am not able to pin that down.
Yeah.
Um, I know it very intimately. It is me. I am it, and it's flowing. It's here. It's all dancing together. And so, in
hmm
that sense, I know it very intimately, but I couldn't tell you what it is. I could write a million treatises about it. I wouldn't be able to pin down what it is.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
only be it. You can only be.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, who knew not knowing it is so awe-inspiring, you know?
Yeah, so liberating, right? Like I always thought I was looking for an answer and the answer was going to be really liberating, but it's more like just the acceptance of non-knowing or the release into unknowing and just
hmm
letting it flow and letting it be this living mystery that, you know, is
hmm
so miraculous. If you could pin it down and put it in a box, it wouldn't be nearly as miraculous as unbound, omnidirectional infinity just exploding
Yeah.
into itself. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Too infinite to measure.
yeah.
Yeah, you and Ginny have, well, you kind of have the same style in a way where you just kind of go on these poetic rants, and it's easy to get lost listening to you guys.
It's all channeling. It's all just saying itself. It's one God making love to itself in the imagination, talking to itself.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
could just, oh, go ahead.
well, I was just going to say one of the things Leela and I have talked about that we have in common is an absolute trying as hard as we could to figure this out. And even our extra trick tries in the back pocket and up our sleeve were tried. And when you run out of tries, it's such a beautiful opportunity to realize, oh, I don't know, and I'm okay not knowing.
Yeah, and you can only know what you're not. So this is the mirror. Everything's the mirror in the imagination. So that you, as the infinite invisible, can see itself. So you can sense. And it's all an involuntary, spontaneous negation that's happening.
And then also a re-inclusion. I feel at least the way it shows up
Mhm.
for me is then
For
this
sure.
radical all-inclusivity of like
Yeah.
you can go through a period of negating it all to
hmm
discover, its kind of most weightless aspect, you could say, but then it's just like a
Yeah.
giant bear hug that re-embraces the full
Yeah.
spectrum of formfulness, and it's
hmm
all you. Yeah.
It's all you. Everything's you. You are breathing yourself. You're making love to yourself through every sensation, every appearance. And just like Michael and I talk about, it's like that's the full circle. That's the mountains are mountains again. Because there can be a getting, be in the halfway point where it's almost like a hinging on nihilism or something. And then it's like that full circle when you see, oh my God, everything is me. I am everything. Yeah.
It seems like it's pretty predictable. Almost every seeker um, seems to go through the phase. I know I did this middle, there's no mountains, there's no anything. It's just empty. And you can hang out there for a while. And it may feel better than being a separate me, so to say, but they're both concepts. And so what was found here was when that concept was let go of as well, then you just find yourself back into the world, honoring everything.
Yeah, I kind of like seeing those as different modes or different ways that infinity can explore itself. It can
Mm-hmm.
explore a really empty mode, a mode where things completely lose their distinction and definition, and you just have this weightless,
Mm-hmm.
vapor-like radiance. Or it can go into a mode of all inclusivity and bring in more of the differentiation and distinction again. Or it can go into infinite other modes of being human and appreciating one's daughter and one's family, or mode of eating a burrito. It's like in a way, every moment is like a
Everything's
new
heaven.
expression,
Yeah.
new mode of how it's exploring itself. Yeah.
This is heaven. Every sensation. Just exploring infinite perspectives, infinite, possibilities, like a mental masturbation.
Yeah, all inclusive. Seems like an integration of the emptiness and form beautifully. I wrote something else down. Uh, Here's a quote from Jordan. People will tend to think you are crazy if you are becoming a real full spectrum human being. What do you mean by that, Jordan?
Um, yeah, I mean, when I look within myself, I don't really find anything outside that is not also inside in some sense. And so, I've experienced myself as everything on the spectrum from angel to demon, God to ant, man to subhuman to superhuman to animal to beast to star to nothing to everything. And it's like if you start integrating all of yourself, the totality of what you are, and you start actually expressing that in whatever form through art or through anything else, that's a lot of people are going to be kind of baffled and befuddled by that because it doesn't fit within the bandwidth that they're, primarily residing within. And so it can seem very strange, but I've always liked the mantra, be the glitch you want to see in the matrix. So, I think it's personally find it fun to be a bit of a trickster and, express express parts of myself that we don't often express because this society really values what is linear and what makes sense. And yet there's so much of us that's like non-linear and nonsensical and enigmatic and strange and weird and mysterious and beastly and gargantuan. And it's just fun to actually integrate more of yourself, and express that. So,
Beautiful celebration.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
limitless beingness, limitless. Only as limited as there's resonance of, which renders the evidence. So resonance of limitlessness, just knowing what you are is this infinite, uninhibited, just expressing, being choicelessly. It is wild and free.
Yeah, we label ourselves as a bunch of wacky weirdos here.
The misfit toys.
oh, I'm in the right place then.
Mhm. Yeah, we've always been total freaks. I mean, like questioning from the beginning. I remember when I was little, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, what is this body? What the hell is the purpose of this? I got to figure this shit out, and it just got too obvious, you know. And that's like, it's all resonance, it's all energy, like turning the dial on a radio station. So even that inquiry, that question resonates on the frequency of rendering the evidence of, you know, seeing through to the source that you are. So even the practice is intuitive. It's already knowing that you are. Everyone already knows that they are the infinite. And so even that practice is the intuition saying, you're already that, you are, you know. And so every way is the motherfucking way because everything is God talking to itself, being, expressing sensually sensations, perceiving sensations. And just like when you have a daydream, imagining characters in the daydream and it's just playing out, you know, in the imagination, how can you be separate from it, you know?
Yeah, separation is a
It's all, yeah, it's all perceiving qualities, sensations. So, and just like in deep sleep, you as pure awareness, you know, is not seeing itself because it's all alone, singular, but through this imagination, imagining as form, imagining as infinite qualities, you can see yourself. It's the mirror, and you can make love to yourself through everything, through being everything.
gorgeous, Ginny.
Yay.
Here's
One thing
another question. Oh, go
real
ahead.
quick, one thing I really like is just that it's all fully it, and any way it's showing up for any being at any time, that's it, and that's fully it. And
Mm-hmm.
the experience of Ramana Maharshi is not any more it than the experience of a sloth napping on a tree. And it's just
Exactly.
like when you realize that, there's so much freedom to just
Yeah.
cut down all the spiritual carrots on a stick of like, oh, I need to replicate exactly what he was experiencing,
Mm-hmm.
rather realizing like whatever's showing up is fully it, and I'm fully free to just drift among this endless range of flavors and these
Mm-hmm.
endless vignettes of poignancy that are just opening like lotus flowers as every scene unfolds into the next, and I'm just fully free to find my own flow in my own center of gravity amidst the ever unfurling display and this
Mm-hmm.
endless tapestry. And then it just frees every being to just
Mm-hmm.
be you. There's nothing to do but be you, you know?
Yay! Be you, boo. Yeah. It really is. It's just so it's everything. It's everything. Everything's the purpose. Everything's the goal. Like moving the hand. That's it. That's it. It's everything. It's the looking, it's the seeking, it's the freaking yearning, it's the getting lost in your own dream. It's like you want that. You, as the infinite invisible, you want to have that fucking experience. What is it like to be mortal? What is it like to be born and die? What is it like to feel like this is real? You know, how amazing is that? All of it is equally just fucking stunning and beautiful and a love story. Just like I talk about my sister that's like, and this is, I'm not saying anything wrong with this, but it's like Barbie living in the mansion with Ken, you know, it's like they're happy in their dream. They're just they've never questioned who am I and what the hell am I doing here, like the alien sister, you know. It's just like that's God experiencing that and perfectly content because you are eternal happiness. You are eternally fulfilled and content. You don't need anything. All of this is divine perfection, every exploring infinite perspective of what it's like to be.
Here's a question for you, Jordan. How can I stop giving a fuck what others think of me?
Um, it's a good question, you know. I wish it was easier to teach people that because honestly, I encounter a lot of people in my work who have this fear of being seen and kind of fear of stepping out and really shining and just letting the full peacock's tail of feathers be seen and putting their work out there, their play, their art. And I wish I'd come up with like a magic trick solution to help people snap out of that. But I think it's kind of a hard thing to teach. I think maybe having people, encouraging people to contemplate death can help. I think death, it's like if you can really let yourself feel that we're here for like 5 cosmic milliseconds in this particular iteration of what is, and who really gives a shit what a bunch of other dream characters or monkey skeletons, however you want to conceive, or other wacky
Imaginary
bipeds,
friends.
imaginary friends, or very real human beings, whatever mode you want to play with. Who cares what they think? But it's, in a way, it feels like something that is hard to teach. But I think if someone contemplates death and just kind of, I feel like it's also kind of a gradual stretching process. If you just keep inching your way into like sharing more of yourself and sharing more of yourself, sharing more of yourself, you just kind of gradually burn away the giving a shit what people think about it. If you just kind of adventure a little further and a little further into that. But yeah.
Yeah. You said who cares, which is actually a huge hitting the target cue for self-inquiry, because that's the same as who am I, or what's perceiving this, or what's aware of this, or am I alive? Do I exist? All of those questions hit the target of the source of this, which you are. So even who cares hits the target, that which is aware of giving a fuck. It precedes it, which is the source of it. And what would giving a fuck be without being aware of it? It is awareness. So it's all awareness, making love to itself. So then you see, the mirror turns around on itself. The absolute sees itself as the absolute that is non-conceptual, non-computational, that precedes the mind, the source of the mind, and is projecting the giving a fuck. And so then it's like, so then you're one with it. It's tantrically integrated, and then it just dissolves, because that feeling, which is a visceral, felt sense of beingness, of I am, aliveness, I exist, dissolves everything. So even focusing on that feeling, I give a fuck, completely destroys it. It's the absolute seeing itself every time, vigilantly, just like.
Or
See that.
asking, what is giving a fuck? What actually is that?
Yeah. And then, which has no answer.
And asking, what is saying that I shouldn't give a fuck? Like nothing, it happens. Giving a fuck
And
can
where
happen.
did it go? How can you prove that it ever happened? You've never even had a thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a simple noticing here of the mantra, who am I, was often suggested as a meditation. And here it was sort of the wrong question, which became obvious. It was assuming I'm a who.
Yeah, I like what is this better.
Yeah, it's all resonant. So like everything in the imagination has its opposite, because the opposite defines the other opposite. You can't have one without the other. So every speaker, everyone talking about this there's going to be an opposite way of talking about it to define that way of talking about this. So, not everyone's going to resonate on who am I. Some people do. And for me, who am I didn't hit the target. It was when I asked, am I alive?
Hmm.
Do I exist? And then it was, what's perceiving this? And then, am I conscious of this? Am I aware? And those all hit the target right away. And then, but yeah, it all appears unique. And so every way is the way. every way. It's
Mhm.
infinite. So it's like, and there's going to be infinite perspectives of it, infinite ways of talking about this, because it's all pointing to this. It's all pointing to itself. It's all God talking to itself, waking itself up from the dream in infinite ways. So no wrong or right way.
Gorgeous, Ginny. Uh, what did you mean when you said stay with the ever-shifting divine artistry, Jordan?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I recommend most to people. And I would say I draw inspiration from Peter Brown on that, because Peter Brown had this practice of the yoga of radiant presence, which in a nutshell could be described as staying with the ever shifting divine artistry. So the yoga is really essentially to just drop labels and definitions can be really helpful. At a certain point, you can see that the labels and definitions are also part of the ever shifting divine artistry, and those don't need to be negated and can also be included. But typically, we're so boxed in by the thinking mind and by all of the stories that it's helpful to try to release those for a period of time and just go to the immediate fact of experience itself and look at the immediate fact of experience itself and be with it as just this naked display of unknown textures, and just notice that these textures are continuously morphing and shifting and effulging, and notice that the moment never repeats itself. It's always fresh, it's always new. So every moment is like a master artwork that's never been seen before, constantly melting into the next master
Mm-hmm.
artwork. And if you just let yourself notice that and you stay with that ever shifting divine artistry, that does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. You don't even have to necessarily go in the direction of deconstructing your entire belief systems or something. You can just go to the positivity, the actuality of the concrete presence of infinity right here and now. This is reality right here. You have it. It's laid bare for your inspection. And if you just stay with the positivity of that, the actuality of that, and you're like, wow, this is literally a miracle right now. I'm staring at
Yeah.
miraculous, unknown beingness, and you just stay with that whenever you want, really. You let it seduce you whenever you feel like it. That
Mm-hmm.
over time is cumulative, I would say. It accumulates and it does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of just dissolving what's less helpful and kind of bringing you toward, a more immediate, a more kind of immediate at homeness within this home that you've always been in, but you may have kind of forgotten that you're already home, because we get this idea that we're somehow apart from what is.
Mm-hmm.
But we're really totally fully embedded and fully one with this tapestry. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, that hits the target too, totally.
Mm.
Yeah, it all hits the target. It's amazing. And that's the same as, like Nisargadatta said, focus on the feeling, the felt sense I am. That's without thought. That's just pure beingness. And you said in your meditation that Leela just sent me with those dudes, which I started. I haven't finished watching it. It was just beautiful. You mentioned another cue which hits the target: stay with the naked sensory data of the now moment. That reveals itself as the source of the mind. That's pointing back to yourself as the absolute. And you see yourself, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that practice. Just you could call it bare bones meditation or just bare
I
experiencing,
love that.
just staying with the naked sensory data and just
Mm,
discovering, yeah, this is it right here. This is the absolute. If anything can be called absolute, everything is
mhm.
absolute. There's no
It
absolute.
is.
Everything's the absolute. So,
This is
yeah,
the
oh,
reality.
yeah,
Hmm.
me eating a slice of pizza is the absolute. Eating a slice of pizza, and it's just what is that? I don't know what that actually
Oh
is.
my God, how amazing is that? That's heaven. What does pizza taste like? Wow.
Super good.
Well,
Yeah.
God smiled when pizza was invented. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to stare when it was socially acceptable at objects and for like different ways, like looking through it, looking at it, or with diffused vision, and things will get like wiggly and wobbly, and I don't know, very dreamlike when you do that. I heard you talking about that in one of your videos, and asking, for me, it was the question, what is this? And just leaving that suspense,
Mhm.
of not knowing. It feels like a pregnant place for insights to dawn.
Yeah. Here it was, what do I know for certain? It was quite disarming as I realized I actually didn't know anything for certain.
Mm, how
You could
wonderful.
also say that you are the knower, so you can't know yourself, just like the I can't see itself. So you are the knowing principle, the source. So that's can't be known. You're infinite.
And it can be very natural to fall into a conceptual idea of what the infinite is, I notice. And we're not talking about anything conceptual.
Yeah, this is beyond words. This is just resonance. Yeah.
And not talking about anything that's not fully present as the life of anyone who's listening to this. I
Hmm.
think when people talk about the infinite or the absolute, it can be kind of easy to get this idea that it's somewhere else somehow, and I need to like penetrate and I need to go there,
Mm-hmm.
rather than like actually it's just the simplicity of you putting on a pair of shoes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
infinity right there, because
Everything. Yeah.
infinite, non-finite, not pin downable within a quantifiable category of any kind, not pin downable within any kind of limited structure. So usually we think, oh, me putting on a pair of shoes, I know what that is. But if you look really closely, it's like actually there's infinite artistic detail in that one scene, and there's
Mm-hmm.
infinite kind of micro movements taking place that are happening there. You don't know how any of that is being orchestrated. You don't know where it came from. You don't know what it is. You can't at all pin it down into the
Mm-hmm.
structure of putting on a pair of shoes. So it's infinity. It's
Yeah. Empty
un,
potential. It can be anything. It is everything. It's infinite appearing as shoes.
That's a fantastic point. And I remember when I was seeking, I had an idea that, people would talk about the absolute, and I was like, oh, it's something I have to find, or, it's something other than this, and sort of playing and running in a circle. Uh, I love that. It's so intimate. It's intimate stops making sense, that word.
Mm. Yeah, it's like it's so intimate because you are it. It's being. And the felt sense of I'm alive. This beingness that's so palpable and loud and too obvious that already is everything, is all there is. And that's one, it's and that's what all the hype's about, is looking for that. And it's like it's already there. That's the problem. You can't find it because you are it.
Mhm.
And looking appears to hide because it's implying that this isn't it, which is just the God playing hide and seek with itself in the imagination, which is total perfection. But it's just too self-evident, already realized. All that's recognized is what was appearing to cover it up, because it's already this. It's already always been this.
Yeah, the everythingness hides the obviousness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting by identifying it as an object of awareness, and then projecting everything being objective, which is just that, what is it like for this to seem real? What is it like as God that's infinite and formless and can't be seen to appear to have a human feel mortal and feel, which is absolutely fucking beautiful. And the way to do that is to, you know, to misidentify this pure sentience, pure aliveness, this beingness that can't even be described as solely being the body, the avatar, the thought, the character. And it's just beautiful, because then you realize that is all there is. It wasn't just solely this avatar which created the illusion of subject object. It's fucking everything. So it would all be the subject. There is no object.
Mhm.
It's just, yeah.
The simplicity of completeness. That's another Jordan quote.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It is so simple.
Yeah, it just feels so nice to be able to just rest as whatever is showing up and just feel the wholeness and completion of that, and feel that nothing needs to be added or subtracted from
Mm-hmm.
this right now. Um,
Yeah, it's
and
too
yeah.
simple. Mhm.
Mm. And in a profound sense, there are no illusions. There's nothing to penetrate. There's nothing to see through. It's just laid bare. It's just this is miraculousness. No one could say what this is. It's just spontaneously astonishing, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
really just we all as babies, what were we all doing? We were all just like, oh wow.
Playing.
You know,
Yeah.
that's that that's all we're really talking about here, is really
Mhm.
just returning to the primordial wow.
Hell
Wow.
yeah. Oh, I
This
like
is
that.
this
Primordial.
is
Wow.
this is here. Whoa, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the infinite playground.
Mhm.
This one mind, this imagination is where we play as God. It's just amazing.
And it's interesting too that it can be like even these notions of like all is mind or all is awareness, all is consciousness, that can be seen too as another mode, another way this can play with itself or seem to be. I can, if
Mm-hmm.
I want, I can occupy that mode and I can kind of feel like, okay, wow, I'm this super consciousness having this dream of Maya. And if I
Mm-hmm.
want to, I can then also shift into a mode of being like, what would it be like if this was, a universe that originated billions of years ago in a mysterious kind of Big
Yeah.
Bang, and
Yeah.
and
It's
if
every way.
this is more physical, and I can occupy that perspective, and then
Yeah.
that can become experiential. So any perspective that you
Yeah.
deeply internalize, it tends to become experiential.
That's it.
I can play with Christian perspectives. I was raised Catholic, and if I occupy
Mm-hmm.
that can be deeply meaningful. I can find myself on my hands and knees praying and having experiences of Jesus Christ. And
Yes.
it's like you could play
All the
with any of
freedom.
these modes and they can become experiential. And it's just you, none of them can finally pin down what this infinity is. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like it can look like anything, and yet none of its expressions, in a sense, it's fully present in every expression. And yet, if you latch on to any expression and you say, oh, that was it, that was the final, that was the objective, all
Mm-hmm.
encompassing, absolute, end point, it's like, no, but that's already
Mhm.
gone. It's already become something else. And it's just
Exactly.
continuously slip
Yeah.
sliding through itself.
That
Mhm.
was Gödel's his math theorem, where he proved that this is
Mm.
so fucking infinite you can't measure it. Once you solve one problem, you fucking open up another one. It's just everything. It's fucking everything. It's every way. Like Sri Ramana said, the path is the goal. It's everything.
Mhm.
So it's experiential. This is visceral. This is just like you cannot describe the taste of mint or chocolate. You can't describe the color green to someone blind. This is experiential. This is beingness. It's one being. It's being everything. It's making love to itself sensually through these, perceiving senses, perceiving sensations. And it's just amazing. Just like having a daydream. You're closing your eyes, having a daydream. It's the same. It's like you're not separate from that. You're the source of the mind, and appearing as the characters in the dream, in the daydream. And there's no separate entities. It's too obvious. Too obvious.
Yeah, I loved it when I sort of discovered the sensations of the body after being dissociated so much in my life. And I saw that if I sort of noticed the image in my mind with my eyes closed of the body that still kind of lingers there as a wordless assumption, it's kind of like reifying and holding the image there. So I just sort of replaced that with blackness. And then I could see that I couldn't feel any border. Like the sensations seemed to be also outside the skin, you know.
Yeah, exactly. If you close your eyes, there's no body and it's just empty spaciousness. Even if there's a pain or a sensation in the body, it's not you can't tell where it is and it's just impersonal sensation appearing in the pure consciousness, you know. And then being aware of it, it's obvious you're the source of it, proceeded appearing as that, you know, not separate from it. So it's, yeah, without the resistance or the separation, it's just free to be. Everything is. And what you were saying too, Jordan, about the everything in Jesus, my mom had her awakening with Jesus. You know, it's every way, it's every fucking way.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many people where, well, also with me, like in the story of Ginny, I fucking had never heard of non duality. I wasn't trying to be enlightened, it was spontaneous. I had read, well, there was always questioning, which was resonating on the frequency, you know, because then I was like, something was fishy, something's up here, you know. And then I was like, this can't be real. There was one year where I was like, this is ridiculous. There's no way this is real. I was like, this would be doomed. It would like self-destruct. Like there's got to be something that's permanent. There's this is unreliable. This appears and disappears and changes. So that was like the opening. And then there was the Alan Watts showing up and reading the page in the book that said, "This is God playing your God playing hide and seek with yourself in a dream." And then I had chills up the spine. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" I was like, "I'll resonate with that." And then my best friend was like, nothing exists outside of your mind. This is all a beautiful projection." It was like, ding, ding, ding. It's like intuition just knows, you know, and it resonates on that frequency. And then it was, and then it was just, and there was a moment where, without effort, spontaneously, I focused on the felt sense I am, beingness, without thought. And the mirror turned around on itself. The absolute saw itself. And I was like, holy shit. Oh my God, I'm God, you know, and it's just like, and then that can't be unseen. It's just done. But like, it's every way. There's no particular way. It's every way. I've talked to someone that was drunk, got thrown in jail, was leaning up against the wall in the jail cell and woke up. It's like it just was. It just saw itself. You know, it's like, and then it's game over. It's like, but it's everything. It's making love by being everything, by every perspective, every sensation.
Yeah, it feels like coming full circle in a way and just returning to wonder.
Yeah,
And
Kyle.
it's a little bit humiliating because you realize everything you've ever thought was just a thought. That's it. And
Yeah.
everything's valid.
Yeah, I remember the laughter, that little short spell of humiliation where I was like, "Oh my God, that was just an idea." I thought I was just the fucking character. I'm literally everything, which is no thing. But then there's that initial like, "Oh my gosh, how amazing." And what a gift. What a gift. Even the, yeah, all of it. All of it that didn't even happen.
Jordan, you gave me permission to read some of your words on my channel, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yay.
Yeah, thank you. I feel honored.
Oh. Yeah, so inspiring. I was so excited when I found you. I was like, yes, all inclusive.
Yay! That's it. It's home sweet home. It's home. It is the warm, it's the embrace, the lover's embrace. You are the lover. Everything's allowed. Whenever there was, in the story of Jenny, she was always a myth buster, digging deep or like transcending every kind of like where I would see a limit or see the intuition would alarm that there was an error of division or separation, and I would instantly transcend it or transmute it like alchemy within myself. So which woke me up more and more. It was like, and it appeared to be a deepening or just like seeing the secrets of the universe, seeing everything being revealed. But
You mean like deeply feeling it without without the believing in the stories? Is that
yeah,
what you mean
without the
by
thought.
transmuting? Okay.
Yeah, no thought, just feeling that visceral felt sense, focusing pure awareness on the feeling without thought dissolves everything. It swallows the entire universe. It is the entire universe.
Mm.
But so what I was saying is that even the intuition just knows it's just intelligence. So like even any kind of limit or even thought that was appeared dividing where there was resistance, it just alarmed the system to like instantly transmute or transcend. So it's just doing itself. It's amazing.
Yeah, it can feel really intense when you think you know what the hell's going on.
Mhm. Yeah, probably the biggest pointer here was the word already. That was what I meditated on, I would say.
Yeah.
Because if it was already, it just became obvious here, then there was nothing to do if it's already.
Yay.
I like the kind of paradox that on one hand, this is the finish line right now, and this is already fullness, this is already wholeness, and yet in another sense, this just endlessly opens into more of itself. And it's kind of like the now is always a new revelation, a new way that God can be with God, a new way reality can be with reality or taste reality. And so it's just like, again, lotus flowers within lotus flowers of this never
Hmm.
ending enlightening or awakening process as God just forever blossoms into more of itself. I feel like creating
Hmm.
these destinations of enlightenment or like it's done personally it hasn't shown up that way for me because it just seems like it just opens into more of itself and it's been
Mm.
doing that my whole life and that's what it's doing for everyone whether they notice it.
Yeah.
It's like it's just revealing
Hmm.
new aspects, new angles on this infinite sided jewel, this infinite sided
Oh,
polyhedron jewel of infinity. Yeah.
totally. It's infinite. Just like my favorite neuroscientist, Donald Hoffman, talks about it being like the analogy of the VR headset, God wearing a headset. It's wearing infinite headsets. It's like if this is the illusion of 4 dimensions, try a million dimensions. You're also experiencing that. You're experiencing everything. Fucking infinite. And it's and this resonance, like when there's resonance of that limitlessness, you render evidence of that. I mean, I've seen so much magic after realizing that I'm fucking infinite. There is no limitation. Poison's only poisonous if you label it that. It's infinite meaning. You're God, so it's any meaning you give it. And it's malleable and changeable and healable. Yeah. Never doomed, never stuck, just constantly unfurling, like you said. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's the beautiful paradox of wholeness and unfurling. You get to have both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, immutable appearing is mutable. Changeless appearing is changing. All the absolute.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a goal of the world disappearing and me disappearing and
Mm-hmm.
I've arrived apparently, it's like
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can see the innocence, right? Like if you have a cat and you take a red laser beam and put it on the wall or the floor, the cat will start trying to hit it with its paw,
Mm-hmm.
but it can never catch it. It's just an appearance. And that's kind of how we are. That can seem
Mm-hmm.
to go on for a while until suddenly you're just exhausted. Like you're like, "Ah, I just can't catch it, you
yeah.
know? And that's,
Yeah, that
that's,
beautiful.
yeah,
The red.
that's a pregnant moment, right
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah, we can't be pinned down.
Because it's effortless. This is effortless. So making the effort just appeared to hide it. The trying was resisting, which was just innocent.
Even effort is effortless.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't dawn that what's being sought is what's seeking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the question is
Totally.
the answer.
Yeah, the longing is what's being longed for.
We're a bunch of weirdos.
I love us. I love us. It's amazing that we get to talk about this all day. It's so beautiful.
Jordan, I really enjoyed your impression of the most enlightened Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo.
Oh, cute.
He's like, Cowabunga dude. I love that.
Yeah, I feel like that voice maybe is came from SpongeBob. There's like that surfer guy in the show
Oh yeah,
SpongeBob.
I remember
And
that
he's like,
too.
oh,
Yeah.
gnarly swells today, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I do that voice sometimes. Because yeah, this is like surfing. It's like it's just surfing itself. The surf's up all the time. This is just
Yeah.
effortlessly surfing itself, as you say, and
I
it's
like that.
so
On
nice to
waves.
just to know how to just let it surf. Just let the river flow. Let the river flow
Mm-hmm.
itself. Sometimes it's fun to play with a mode of more active participation and will and creatorship and this type of thing too. That's another valid mode, another valid way this can seem to be. But I certainly like spending a lot of time just restfully letting this effortlessly do its thing and unfold it.
Yeah,
It's noticing that it just does that.
it
So
is. It's the we're way up in this bitch. Because like I love tubing down the river, and that's just total surrender. It's like you're just tubing. It's flowing. The water, the stream is taking you. You're not swimming upstream. You're just going with the flow, and it is flow. All of this is flow, just doing itself. Like the Maya Shakti is just this intelligence. It's this beautiful imagination, beautiful dream, just appearing to do itself effortlessly.
yeah, I like saying God is flow. Because I love the word flow as well, and I love the word God. And for me, the phrase God is flow can kind of help
Yeah.
unite East and West in a way, because God
Mm-hmm.
stay more with the Western religions and flow more with the Eastern religions. And it's just like God is
Oh,
flow. God
beautiful.
is this. God is this flow.
Yes. I love that.
All
Yeah.
rivers lead to the ocean, as you said earlier. All streams lead to the sea and are made of the sea, and all winds lead to the atmosphere and are made of the atmosphere. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, nothing to
All
do.
one beingness.
Hmm.
Feels like a wild celebration infinitely.
Yeah, I'd say
Infinite
that's
party.
yeah, I'd say that's one of my favorite ways to be with it, just as this never-ending surprise, this never-ending jubilee parade.
Mm-hmm.
never-ending hallelujah. It's just
Oh, I
like,
love that.
just look at it. Just look at it. It's literally sparkling. It's dancing. It's literally radiant. It's
It
literally shining.
is. It
Literally
is.
already shining in every direction. And you don't even have to, you don't have to try to become aware because that's like lighting a match in the middle of the sun. The sun is already shining all around.
Yeah,
You don't have to
yeah.
try to become aware. What could be more awake than awakeness? This is,
This
the
is
awareness
it.
is already here. What could be more present than presence? This is present, It's
It
just,
is. It's already realized. It's already done. There's nothing that needs to be done. It
Yeah.
just is. It just is.
You can't arrive to where you never left.
Yeah. Always been home, sweet home,
Mm,
eternally.
mm.
Yeah, and it is shimmering. It's like even the words coming out of the mouth, the lips moving, the eyelashes batting. It's just everything. This is heaven. Every sensation is you as God making love to yourself. Walking your feet, walking on the ground, the smell in the air, the taste of chocolate, the speaking, to your imaginary friend, God talking to itself in the imagination. It's just amazing.
It's an
It is.
infinite trip, infinite psychedelic trip.
Immediate, alive.
so much of it is just becoming more sensitive to what's already there, People
Mm-hmm.
listen to this, it can feel like very out there. It's like the language we're using is very
Mm.
poetic and it's all over the place in a certain sense. We're pointing at it from all these angles, but it's like it's just becoming more sensitive to what's already there, your life as it already.
Yeah.
You can notice the sparkles that like just the
Mm-hmm.
whole visual field is an infinity of sparkles, an infinity
Yeah.
of light. And where is that light coming from? What is that light? Can you actually say what that light is? And if you just look at that, it's like, no, I can't. I guess everything is sparkling. Everything is this dazzling miraculousness in every direction. So it's kind of just, in a sense, just sensitivity training or sensitively opening to what's here. If you just start to heighten the sensitivity and taste it a little bit more, just this
Mm-hmm.
actuality of the vital power, as Nisargadatta also pointed to. He said, just stay with the vital power. This vitality
Yes,
is
that's
here.
it.
It is, it is
Mm-hmm.
here. It's effulgent. It's
Exactly.
sparkling.
Yeah, the more I focused pure, awareness on this felt sense, which without thought, it's non-computational. It's this just total beingness, this total aliveness. It just swallowed everything. It was so clear that that is all there is. That is everything. And this is this.
When you say without thought, Jenny, you mean like just not focusing on it, letting it do what it does, the mind.
It's the feeling. It's the I love the word feeling because that takes you beyond the mind because
Mm.
it's like it's visceral. It's an intuitive sense because you already know that you are. You already are. You already are existence itself. This primordial essence
Yeah.
that's eternal, that's always been here. That's that's too obvious. This just beingness, this pure beingness.
Yeah, it's a resonance. It's not, it's wordless. So there's just can be a
Mm-hmm.
total resonance for no reason, right? A resonance, like your favorite song. You don't need a reason to love your favorite song. You just do. There can be a falling in love with this, a curiosity. What is this? What's right here now? What's speaking? Where are these words coming from?
Yeah, just like Sri Ramana and Nisargadatta said, the the passion and the desire for self-knowledge is love, is because and you already know this, you already are this. So that's intuitive, it's already realized, but it's just kind of uncovering itself, you could say. So it's which
Yeah,
can appear as a process, can appear as earnestness and
that's it.
practice
Yeah. The
and
journey.
everything resonates that yeah.
I was just going to say the journey is heaven.
Is
Process.
the destination. Yeah.
Putting your pants on one leg at a time. That's it.
Yeah.
And it can look like going through hell at times on the journey
hmm
too. It can feel like hell and it can really hurt. And
hmm
part of this is also just realizing when it hurts, that's fully it too. And
hmm
can you be with those naked sensory textures and just let them be a mystery that's revealing itself as more
hmm
than what we habitually call it, like, oh, this is anxiety or depression or shame or anger. It's like, sure, that's one way to describe it, but if you go into the felt visceral texture, as you're
hmm
saying, anything can be a portal into this bottomless richness of texture,
Yeah.
just fizzling. It's like this fizzlingness. Everything is this energetic presence, as you say. And yeah, the
That's it. Yeah.
it's
Hits
just
the target.
Yeah,
important
anything
to
can be a
notice that.
portal.
Go for it.
Oh, you go
Mhm.
ahead, Jordan. Go, you go.
I was just gonna say it's just important to notice that thought is just such a small part of what's happening here. It's not like thought has to go away, but the story you're telling about what this is just like, in a certain sense, just such a tiny part of this effortlessly effulging infinity. So just check
Mhm.
out what's outside of your story. Just check out habitually we're just so narrowed in on like, oh, I'm Jordan Bates in a world with very important tasks to attend to.
Yeah.
Check off the to-do list. Just stare at a wall or look at the sky or look at a squirrel, look at a
hmm
tree trunk, close your eyes and feel the body and just notice how much is outside of that story.
hmm
Gradually, you start to discover there's an infinity outside of that story that can't be captured by any story. It's just always here.
hmm It's amazing too, because that in this story, that hardcore suffering and resistance, and even the trickster clowns that I appeared as in the dream to wake me the fuck up, shook me. And that was the catalyst to waking up. So it was all a total gift.
Mm.
It's all beautiful. It's all God waking itself up. Everything's the clue. Everything.
That's one of my favorite things to talk about is the feelings and thoughts that aren't preferred can still
hmm
arise, and that's it.
hmm
And even anxiety, if you really study it without the story of knowing what it is, it's exactly the same as exhilaration. Feels the same.
hmm
Yeah. Here there's wanting to notice uh the habit of going to story and then sort of shifting and going to the raw experience.
hmm
So here there's been when we're in the no mountains and no rivers phase, practice is a dirty word, but not here. Practice is as much it as anything else. So
It's
you
everything.
you can actually get better. You can actually train yourself. And I think it doesn't happen that much because you don't even know you can do it. It's like the best kept secret. You can take your attention, which habitually goes to the story, and you can begin to drop in and feel into the raw emotion.
That's it. That's the same as yeah, the focusing on the feeling I am without thought. That's all the same thing. It hits the target, dissolves it, dissolves everything into itself, the source that is everything.
Yeah, there can be an innocent running to thought to tell a story to sort of avoid the intense sensations. But
Mm-hmm.
but they're not going to kill you. The feelings aren't going to kill you. So we can go into that with a sort of bravery and be like, oh, there's without the story, it's just pure aliveness.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing says that thoughts and intense feelings can't be here.
Yeah, when there's no resistance to it, it's all allowed to be. It's all, everything can play on the playground. It's all free. The resistance is what made it appear to hurt, because it was just the alarm system, the intuition screaming, this isn't separate, this isn't, and it's not real, it's not really happening.
All is one and just for fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
all thoughts allowed. it's so cool because when no one's bullied or left out on the playground from the playground, and everything's allowed to play, those um, what we refer to as intrusive thoughts disappear. They're allowed to be there. So what you resist persists because you are everything. So resisting it is excluding it from the playground. It's just all trying to come home to be loved, integrated, allowed.
I love all the beautiful different ways we express, trying to talk about this, the indescribable.
Yay. Me too.
I'm so happy you joined us, Jordan.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having me. I'm really enjoying hanging out with you guys.
Yay.
It's fun to talk about my favorite subject. Yeah,
Yay.
Ours
Me too.
too.
Yes.
the all-inclusive favorite subject.
Yay.
Beautiful.
Peter
Wow.
Yeah.
Peter Brown once said, "Every word in the dictionary refers only to this, refers
Heck
only to
Yeah,
yeah.
this infinity." And
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. Leela said, every word is the name of God. And that's beautiful. That's it. It's
Mhm.
everything.
And I think one other message that's coming through that I just want to share with people again is just that like so much of modern non-duality goes really strong into the negation side of things and really says like life has no purpose, life has no meaning, life has no value, there's no you, there's no world, there's no you need to the price of truth is everything, you need to burn it all down. And I think that that's I've seen evidence that a lot of people are actually getting pretty, spun about and mixed up and
Mm-hmm.
put into some really difficult states from those that types of pointing. If that type of pointing is just like all that they're exposed to and they get really immersed in that type of thing. So I just want to let people know again that there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing there's nothing you have to negate whatsoever. You can it's fully you're it's fully valid to be here as a human being, to be with your family, to love your
Mm-hmm.
children, your wife, your brothers, your sister, your mothers, your friends. This fully valid to be with this earth. This earth is real. We're here. This is here. This is happening. And
Mhm.
it's exploding with meaning. It's the opposite of meaningless. It could be
Mm-hmm.
experienced as meaningless. That's a valid mode. It's so meaningful that it includes a possible experience of meaninglessness.
Mm-hmm.
It's hyper meaning. It's juicy in every direction. You can't pin down a fixed meaning, but that would be a limitation. It's just like endlessly open,
Mm-hmm.
hyper meaningfulness and hyper purposiveness. You can't pin down one single purpose of it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
purposive in every direction. I mean, this
That's
cup
it.
is clearly purposive, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't at all have to be nihilistic or solipsistic. You can play with
Mm-hmm.
those modes if you want, but you don't have to. It's fully
Yeah.
valid to be in a mode of everything is real and other
Mm-hmm.
people are fully real and these are real human beings who I'm with. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just
It's
I think that's a
beautiful.
message that
Mm.
yeah, more people need to some people are in need of hearing at this juncture. So
I like that. Yeah. Because even here with the radical, my intuition alarm system was alerting that there was an error. Something was off that I wasn't resonating with, but it was kind of like leaning towards nihilism a little bit. And I was like, no, this is fucking alive as fuck, like overflowing in love, like this. And so there was a lot that I took what resonated and threw in the dumpster fire what didn't, which is what we naturally do. It's intuitive. But yeah, this is and I love that too. This is what we've been talking about, the three of us, Michael and Leela and I. This all inclusiveness. It's so unconditional. It's just wide ass open and totally embracing and in love and not, it can appear as demonizing shit or whatever, that's included too, but it's like this is just so fucking whole and in love that yeah, we're conveying that in this
Mhm.
message for sure. Just the all inclusiveness and the alreadiness, as Michael says.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. What a
Thank
kick-ass
you.
meeting. Love
Yay.
it.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Jordan.
you,
Such a
Jordan,
joy. Mwah.
so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was great. Super fun. Be
Heck
Thank,
yeah.
well.
thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Love you guys.
Love
Bye.
you.